Hey everyone, today we are going to talk about different kinds of levels we have for our charts, and then we are going to talk about how to export them to Tradingview. This is something that we just recently added and I wanted to create a video for it. So when you go to our options dashboard, let's say for SPY, you see all these positioning charts on dealer positioning, deltas, gammas, sort of vannas, charm exposures, and these are very meaningful in order to gauge how the market might react or how the market might move in the future. And so these are useful, and we have very comprehensive videos on how to best use these, but it's still hard to actually surface them or visualize them on a chart, and that's very meaningful as well. So we figured, why not get data from here where we are looking at vanna and charm, dealer open interest, delta adjusted gamma exposure, simple gamma exposure, then vanna exposure. Why not actually add these values? So we are looking at these, but we know, let's say there are red bars, there are green bars, but how do these look when we surface them or when we put them on the stock price or on the candlestick chart? And so that's what our levels are. In order to get these levels, let's actually go to the stocks dashboard where we have consolidated all kinds of different levels. So let's open this up, and I have SPY's dashboard open. So we have the support and resistance levels. First of all, just click on draw levels and you will get different resistance levels and different support levels. What we are going to talk about, we have Darkpool levels, we have DEX levels, which comes from the daily deltas tool that we have in the options market dashboard. But what we are going to talk about is the Greek levels, which is like gamma exposure, deltas, vanna exposure, and charm exposure. And then we have the delta adjusted gamma as well, and we are going to talk about these. So you can select any Greek that you want to build level for. Let's say we want to select delta adjusted gamma, or let's say just gamma. Then you can select whether you want to look at levels based on weekly expirations, non-weekly expirations, monthly expirations, which would be all contracts and the under 30 days till expiration, or all. Let's actually go to monthly. And when we draw these charts, you now see a visual representation of those bar charts on top of the daily chart. So let's actually, let me show you something cool here. So you see this, so what we have is the delta adjusted gamma for monthly contracts or contracts expiring within 30 days. And this is similar to how it was looking when we had this very large red candle. Let's set our anchored VWAP from the recent top. And so when we had this green candle, I posted a note on Twitter on telling users that this 420, this red bar, is a very important level for two reasons. One, there was negative gamma there, and when you are looking at negative gamma from a delta adjusted gamma chart, then that negative gamma can cause some selling pressure. And then we also had this anchored VWAP resistance there. So there were two confluence factors there that told us that there might be some resistance there. So all the bullish plays that we had this day, I exited them like at the end of this day because of this resistance, and then because of this red level. This level was a lot more red on Friday than it is after Friday, or this level was a lot more red on Thursday actually than it is right now. And so we did find resistance the next day. We did have a very bad move down, about I believe $17 to $18, probably $15, maybe maybe less, $15. That is a very big red candle, and you could have anticipated some part of that. Again, this is just all us looking at historical data, so it would be a lot more cooler to do this in real time, and we'll do that. You can keep a tab on our Twitter and we'll discuss these things in real time. But this would have enabled us to actually, just by sort of surfacing it on the chart, this would have enabled us to like find this 420 level as a potentially good resistance level. And then when we started to go down, what's interesting is the only level where we could find support was around this 417 or 416 level. Now a lot of people ask us to actually label these regions. The reason we cannot do that is because these regions are not explicitly sort of set regions like we are going to find resistance at exact 420. Not at all. we are going to find resistance around 420 is a lot more meaningful and accurate way of looking at these levels. And if you do that, you'll find that these work much better versus if you're just looking at them as singular point. So we did have some support. Green is some buying pressure at around 416 or 415, and you can see that probably was a potential support level as well, because we had some sort of volume here. So maybe some people were sitting that would defend that level, but we broke it like right away. And then you can see from that point onwards until the very end of the day, all we had was selling pressure, which was telling us that market makers are actually going to support us in sort of the downward pressure or the downward momentum in the price. And that's just that's just delta adjusted gamma. If we look at, let's just clear this up. If we look at the gamma and then we look at the monthly expirations, we will see a lot of red. So when we are just looking at the gamma chart and then we see red bars, then that just means that negative gamma, if you know about gamma exposure, if you don't, please watch some of our other videos. I'll link some of them in the description below as well. If you know about gamma exposure, then negative gamma can cause momentum effects or can cause price to change significantly. And when there is green gamma or there is positive gamma, then that can act as a mean reverting level, or that can act as a magnet. But you can see that at this point at 420, again this was a lot more visible on Thursday. At 420 we had some red levels, and then as we moved down, we did have a lot more red than we had green, which was just telling us that we are not expecting a mean reverting behavior right now. We are expecting a sort of volatile move. Let's clear this up as well, and let's look at deltas. Deltas are important because although dealers hedge their deltas right away, these deltas still give you an idea on where people, customers and dealers are sitting. So anytime you're seeing these green bars, again, if you watch our dealer positioning video, you'll understand the difference between green and red bars. But anytime you're seeing these green bars here, that just means dealers are long deltas there. And if dealers are long deltas, then customers are short deltas. And when customers are short deltas, that means they are bearish. So this is slightly unintuitive, but these green bars are where customers are actually bearish. Customers have opened bearish positions at these green bars, and the lighter or sort of the brighter the green bar is, the more bearish were the customers, because these are positions for dealers, not for customers. All the gamma exposure and all these exposures we are looking at, these are positions for dealers. If dealers are long deltas, then customers are short deltas. And you can see customers were like short deltas all the way from 420, probably not around 418 or 419, but once we crossed this 416 415 level, then we had the delta adjusted gamma, which was also giving us some selling pressure. Then we could also see that customers had opened a lot of bearish positions around this 415 level. So again, these are just points of confidence that are telling us how options traders and how dealers have been reacting or have been building positions around these levels, and that could be very, very meaningful. But I just wanted to keep this video on how you can use these levels and not actually going into the details on how to build strategies. We will do those videos as well, but now that you know we can draw these levels, let's actually see how to export them to Tradingview. That is something that a lot of people want to do. So let's go to a Tradingview export guide, and you'll see a step-by-step process on how to actually export these levels to Tradingview. The first thing that we need to do is copy this script, and we are going to go to Tradingview and now create an indicator for us, which will then pull in data from our website and show you levels. So let's copy this. Let's go to Tradingview. Let's go to Pine Editor, and we are going to expand it and then just copy paste the script here. Make sure that these lines do not have spaces, like at least these lines. Then once you see these spaces here, these are fine, these spaces are fine, and then these spaces are fine as well, but there shouldn't be any spaces here, and you won't have any problem as long as you copy it as it is. Now that we have this, let's just hit save, and name these Tradytics levels v2. Okay, once you hit save, just click on add to chart, and that is going to, now we are going to minimize this. This is going to add an indicator called Tradytics levels on our chart, but we are not really seeing anything. How do we do that? So if you go here and you click on this settings icon, you'll see all the settings that you can use with our different levels. This is the color for positive levels, negative levels. We have the opacity on, like, how bright do you want the levels to be, and then the width of the lines or the levels that you're going to see. What we don't have right now is the input code, and that is what we are going to get from our website now. Let's go back, and now let us close this and click on copy to Tradingview. This is going to give us a code, and it's going to ask us to copy this code and put it at the input code location. So let's do that. When we do that, let's hit OK, and now let's wait. So I'm going to minimize this, and voila, you can see all these levels drawn on the chart. Now there are some slight differences. We do have slightly more width in the bars, but you can obviously set that with the width parameter that you have in the indicator, and then sometimes the opacity and things like that change slightly, but overall the actual values or the actual regions are going to be the same that you were seeing on our website. You can see slightly lower opacity here but slightly higher here, so just increase the opacity, and let's actually do that right now. So let's increase it to 1.1. you can see, let's do 1.2. okay, and if you want to increase the width, you can do that as well. So this is very similar to what we were getting on our website, and that's it. It was pretty easy. Once you add this script, it is going to stay here. Now let's see, you wanted to not have the Greek levels, you just wanted to have the support and resistance levels. You can again just draw these. So you always have to draw these levels on our website before you can click the copy to Tradingview. Just copy these. Now let's go back, let's go to settings, and let's replace these. Alright, and there are the levels that we saw, the support and resistance level. So it's not just the Greek levels. You can draw within the same script support and resistance levels, Greek levels, Darkpool levels, etc. And you cannot draw DEX levels because they are slightly different, but these three you can very easily draw. And if you spend some time learning about dealer positioning, Greek levels, then Darkpool levels, and then just sort of spending time using these support and resistance levels, because we have a pretty good algorithm that develops these, you will find that you will be able to find really good points of support and resistance, and interesting points on where price might reverse both to the upside and to the downside. And you will also be able to make expectations on what price might actually do, which is what we can do with deltas and sort of gamma exposure and delta based gamma exposure and things like that, even vanna and charm as well. So I hope this helps you add our levels to your Tradingview. If you have any requests on where else you would like to see these levels, such as think or swim, please post them below. But I hope this video helps you at least get started with Tradingview. Feel free to use these levels. Feel free to let us know how you're using them and how you're using them to make plays. You are going to find just the Greek levels on the options dashboard as well, but I would still actually the SR levels and Darkpool levels as well, but I would still recommend using them from this dashboard because it's just a lot more comprehensive and it's always up to date. I hope this was a helpful video. Again, if you have any comments or questions, please post them in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching this video. I will see you guys around.